Hello Spurs fans, welcome back to the channel with me Kieran talking all things Tottenham. So I've had a nice little break whilst the internationals have been played. I didn't really take too much notice of them, with the lesser competition of what England have had to play. I haven't really been that fussed. Sort of dipped in and out of the results, but I've been working in the meantime, so I didn't get to watch all the games anyway. And luckily for us, the majority of the players came through unscathed, which we will talk about further in the video. So the main purpose of this video is we're going to be talking about the Newcastle game, which is a 2:05 kickoff. I hate it when they do that. 2:05. Just keep it rounded. 2 o'clock kickoff, or 1:30 kickoff. 1:45. I don't like this 5 past, 10 past stuff like that. But anyway, random rant. So that is the away game, St James's Park. Newcastle are currently sitting 17th in the Premier League. They are 2 points clear of relegation. And we are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League, 3 points off a top 4 spot. However, Chelsea are playing at the moment whilst I'm recording this video, and they are currently in the lead. So hopefully they throw that away and we can close that gap with a win against Newcastle. Just before I dive into the video, I just wanted to talk about members and season ticket holders at Tottenham. So many of you all know that we normally get our pack sent through at the beginning of the season. That didn't happen this year because of COVID and whatnot. They decided that the under 16s could still have their pack, and for the over 16s we were given a £10 voucher that, shock horror, you cannot use on sale items. And I know there's going to be plenty of you out there during COVID that have had a tough time financially. My advice is just use the voucher, whether you're struggling or not. There will be something you can find, and I've got an example of that right here. But another thing you can do, if you have other Tottenham fans in the family and you've got birthdays coming up and stuff, use the voucher towards that. But there are ways around it, because they gave us free delivery as well. Sorry, I'm waving a knife about like a complete and utter psycho. There's a reason for this. They gave us the £10 voucher. You do get free postage with that as well. And because I do this YouTube video, and at the moment I've just got my flag up, but I decided I'd just add a few more bits of decoration for the video just to put stuff in the background, which has come, and I haven't opened it yet. I've had it for about a week now. So I'm just going to open it and just show you that you can use your £10 voucher and not have to spend any of your own money. So what I did, I just went through all the different sections until I found what I wanted. And I wanted to try and prove that you can use the £10 voucher and not have to spend more and still get something useful. So I actually ordered the White Hart Lane street sign, which many people already have. If you haven't got one and you've got the voucher, just get it. It's £9, which then leaves you with £1 spare. So I've got that, which will be going up at some point back there to add to the experience, or it will be going into the second bedroom, which is currently an office whilst we are in COVID. And then the other thing I ordered was this. It's just a postcard of the new stadium, looking onto that beautiful wall of sound where my season ticket is in the South Stand. Yeah, that was £1. So that's the tenner, and within a couple of days it was here at my door. So they are ready to go up somewhere. I might find a frame for this just to put up. But yeah, £10, bosh, job done. So if you've got one, please use it, because the emails were circulating around from the club essentially saying, hurry up and use it before it runs out. So it's worth using. If not, put it towards a present for someone. Buy yourself something. Treat yourself. But anyway, back to it. We'll jump into this team news. And Newcastle had a few injury issues before the international duties. That's given some of their players a chance to work their way back to fitness. Callum Wilson is still looking like a no-go. St Maximum is maybe. Almiron should be back. And Hayden is unlikely to feature. For us, good news. Sonny obviously couldn't go on international duty. He is back. Reguilon we had a fear about, but don't worry, he's okay. Lamela's ban is obviously over, so he's back in the squad. Davies, unfortunately, won't be with us. He actually picked up an injury in that disappointing defeat to Zagreb in Croatia. He then played in the game against Villa in the end, came on and did his job for us, but he was carrying an injury in that, and unfortunately that's aggravated it more, which means he will be out. And Jose was very pleased to sort of talk about Ben's commitment in the sense that even whilst carrying an injury, he put himself out there in a game which we did win 2-0, which keeps our hopes and dreams alive. Doherty is the only player that ended up injured. He limped off against Luxembourg in the Republic of Ireland's victory. So yeah, Doherty and Davies are the only two that are out. And then Son, Reguilon and Lamela are back. If we talk about form, Newcastle, in their last 18, only have 2 victories. They have 5 draws and an incredible 11 losses. That is not great form at all. Hence where they are, 17th in the Premier League. But their last 6 Premier League games, they've lost 3 and drawn 3. Now, they are in a relegation scrap, and as I said, they're only 2 points above safety at the moment. But as we know, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty end of the season, you always find that one team that pushes themselves away from the relegation zone, claws their way to safety. Newcastle, they've had some strange years, but they are one of the teams that you expect can turn things around. Teams battling for relegation are very, very, very dangerous to play. They're probably the worst teams you can play coming into the back end of a season. Then if we look at our form, obviously it's been a bit strange. Like, we've all been moaning that, we've been terrible, blah, blah, blah. We got the victory against Aston Villa with a very different looking lineup. But when you look at it on the whole, our last 5 Premier League games, we've won 4 and lost 1. So over our last 6, we've won 4, lost 2. Unfortunately, the 2 that we lost were absolutely shocking and unforgivable. The way we played against Arsenal and the way we played against Zagreb. But when you look at form, we are right up there. We picked up, 12 points from a possible 15? Not bad, really, is it, when you think about it? We're very good in form. Unfortunately, it's just the way that we lost those 2 games that made it seem like this massive crisis. But at this stage of the season now, under Jose Mourinho, we have more points than we did last season. We are higher in the league than we were last season. We have conceded less goals than last season, and we have scored more goals than last season. So yes, it's an improvement. It's still a pandemic. Very strange times. No fans. It has played a part, but we're in a better position now than we were last season. So we can't grumble too much, other than the commitment of some of those players in those 2 unforgettable games. If we just talk about some of the players, there's no getting away from Harry Kane. There's been a lot of crap displayed around by pundits, fans, journalists, ex-pros, and it's very frustrating. Let's look at the positives. 43 goal involvements in 40 games in all competitions this season. He has 27 goals and 16 assists. There is no doubt this is an incredible season for Harry Kane. It's been massively important for us. And as usual, he's had, his little injuries throughout the season that have kept him out, and he still manages to produce these kinds of stats and contributions towards the team. Are we going to lose him? I think not. He's on a decent length contract. The financial market is useless at the moment. There's been talk of 175 million to purchase him. I don't think anyone's going to pay that. And Daniel Levy is not going to let him go when he's not going to get top dollar for him. Especially when finding a replacement is going to cost a shed load of money anyway. So it's not going to happen. I'm not sure he's going to want to go at the end of this season anyway. Remember, we've got a cup final. We've still got the potential for Champions League football. I think it'll all be assessed at the end of the season, but it's still a more difficult one to do anyway because he is the captain of England. He is going to be going to the Euros. And he's very focused on the task at hand. I don't think he listens too much to media and all these links. I think it's something that will be assessed after the Euros, but I don't think he will go at the end of this season. possibly next season, but definitely not this season. But anyway, incredible stats. Erik Lamela, as expected, with that amazing Rabona, which was only ruined by the fact that the rest of the team, apart from maybe Lucas Moura in that game, were shocking. He has won Premier League Goal of the Month, which we expected. Could possibly end up Goal of the Season. Who knows? It was only marred by the fact that we lost. If we briefly go over the international break, I don't want to talk about any of the results because I'm not really bothered about results for the other teams. Obviously, England got some decent wins in there. Expected against the opposition we played. We didn't really play anyone tough. Albania was probably the toughest, but it wasn't really that much of a difficult time for England. Harry Kane obviously on the score sheet. So, Doherty obviously injured for Ireland. I do want to mention Serge Aurier, who is very, very, very influential for the Ivory Coast. They managed to secure qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations, which is great. However, from a Spurs perspective, not great. As we know, this means he will be missing for the best part of a month, depending on how they get on in the African Cup of Nations for next season, which is always a pain in the backside when you lose these players to competitions. But it is what it is. So we could be missing him. But then again, we don't know whether he's going to stay at the end of the season. So we'll review that when we have to. And then Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He has won Danish Player of the Year for the first time. Definitely deserves it. And that is voted by fans. And it's a bit strange that somebody in his position wins that. Normally you see these things go to strikers or creative midfielders. Obviously Christian Eriksen wasn't going to win it because he's had a fairly iffy season by all standards. But Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, as a defensive midfielder, a rock who doesn't always, for the international team, play. He's always in the squad, but he's not always in the starting lineup. But yeah, voted by the Danish fans. That is a massive thing for him. And he actually, in one of the games, he got a goal and an assist. So massive credit to him. Well done. He should be buzzing when he comes back. And hopefully that will filter through the squad, if you will. Now, I'll just finish up with the press conference from Jose Mourinho. Normal stuff, really. Confident we can win the next game. But then he also said he's confident we can win the game after that, and the game after that, and the game after that. We know that he looks at things game by game. He won't talk about whether we'll qualify for the top 4 or top 6, as usual. And that's purely because it comes down to everyone else around us. Like, as I said, Chelsea are playing right now. They are winning the game. We can win all our games from now to the end of the season. If teams around us win all their games till the end of the season, we will not qualify for the top 4. So it makes sense that he's not talking about it. However, he did say that he feels confident that there are games that we will win. He's confident in the players. There was a lot of talk on Harry Kane about his situation at the club, whether he's going to stay, whether he's going to go. And Jose's answer was pretty much what you expect it to be. He didn't really talk about whether he thinks he'll be there. He just says he wants Harry Kane to do what he's been doing. You know, carry on pulling on the jersey, fighting hard, working hard, play how he did in the Villa game with great intensity, good attitude, same as he does for England. And I think it's hard for a manager to comment on it because nobody knows what Harry's really thinking. And as I said, it will be something that they'll look at in the summer. And there's many other factors. Jose is a very, very, very small factor in whether Harry Kane will want to stay. You have league position. Do we get Champions League football? He has to be playing Champions League football, really. Is Europa League football going to be enough? Don't know. If we have Europa League football but we win the Carabao Cup, that may be a factor. There's so many variables. So Jose is a very, very small thing. You know, harmony within the squad, what's really going on behind the scenes, how much money we can get for him. Does Daniel Levy want him to go? Depends on the replacement we can get. I mean, as I said, I don't think he'll go. He was asked about Japhet Tanganga. I think that was Alistair Gold that asked a question about him. And he was, you know, kind of saying he was very pleased with him. I mean, we don't see Japhet too often. He's still young. He's very comfortable at centre-back. Jose was saying he can use him at right-back, left-back, centre-back. He has this obsession with Japhet's height, that he's not the tallest. But there was plenty of compliments dished out that he's strong. He is very good positionally. He's very comfortable on the ball. And then he mentioned, a couple of weaknesses, which are minor things really. His crossing and his ability to know when he should attack. They're things that he'll learn as time goes on, but it's very important for him to get minutes. And I have a feeling that one of Aurier or Doherty will leave at the end of the season, which should see Japhet get more game time. But, Jose did stress that he can play centre-back as well. Very useful player to have around. Very likeable. He said he's very humble. So all good news on that front. He was asked about the Lamela goal, the Rabona, saying about it getting, goal of the month. Will it be goal of the season? I don't think Jose's that bothered. It was a great goal. He said it was a great goal. But it's marred by the fact that we lost the game. Could be a contender for goal of the year, Puskas Award maybe. He spoke about the players that didn't go on international duty. And he said that normally during this time, their levels kind of drop. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Obviously, they're disappointed that they didn't get to go on international duty because that's what they all want, to represent their countries. And for many of these players, they want to fight for spots for the Euros or international competitions coming up in the Americas or Africa, wherever these competitions are. So they're normally disappointed. They also have to train with a lot of the youngsters. But even in that sense, we've got many internationals in our youth system. So it's a bit of a weird one. They haven't even got the best of the best from the academy players playing around them. So he said sometimes the levels drop. He said that was not the case. Very good levels. And I think that's purely because they need to fight. They want to stay at Tottenham. They want to play international football. They want to play European football. So he said the levels didn't really go down. And there was a lot of very good players left behind. Erik Lamela didn't go with Argentina. Giovanni Lo Celso's only just come back to fitness. So he stayed. Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, Carlos Vinicius. There were some great players left behind. And yeah, he said they worked very well, very happy with them. And that pretty much led into another question about the fact that we're not in the Europa League anymore means there's less opportunity for rotation. As we know, Jose, when he has rotated players, it has been between the Europa League games into the Premier League games, the Thursday to Sunday games. And it leaves that less opportunity, which means there are going to be players that miss out on game time. And what Jose has basically said is, yes, that's true. However, the fact that there isn't this second competition where they can pick up minutes, it can have the reverse effect that they will train even harder to push themselves into that starting lineup. Now, we're all sitting here thinking, you're paid God knows how much money. You should be fighting all the time. Training, matches, all things. You should just work hard. You're paid a crap ton of money to do what you do. It's not always like that. I mean, the same with us with our jobs. We all have bad days at work. These things happen. But however, Jose thinks this could be a good thing. They'll be vying for those spots because they need some football. And if there's somebody that's thinking about leaving, somebody, I don't know, Harry Winks hasn't had a load of game time, started very few games in the Premier League, gets taken off in the games that he manages to play in the cup competitions, he may be looking to move. Now, to guarantee himself a move, he needs minutes. But he also wants to be in that Euro squad as well. So he needs minutes. And this is what I'm talking about. Him, Dele Alli, they're all going to want these minutes to push on to prove themselves. Eric Dyer as well is another one. So you could see them really pushing themselves to vie for these spots, put themselves in the shop window, put themselves in contention for their internationals, and put themselves in the shop window. So it could be a real positive for us coming into the back end of the season where everybody is absolutely firing, hungry to go, to push for their spot. I mean, if it's not for the badge and it's for purely selfish reasons, at this stage of the season, I don't think we care. We just need them fighting. We need them hungry to win. If it's selfish motivation, I don't really care. I just want us in that top 4 spot come the end of the season. I want us to win that Carabao Cup final. And then come the end of the season, we can get rid of the deadwood that doesn't want to be there and start working on what we want to bring in. I'm not going to talk about the transfer window. There's been a lot of players that we've been linked with, a lot of players that are linked with leaving the club. I'm not really going to talk about them. we'll leave that for another day. But let's get this game out the way first. Let's continue to push for that top 4 spot. And then hopefully Monday, whilst you're enjoying time with your families, you can have a smile on your face because Tottenham got the victory on the Sunday. You can sit down, kick back, watch a little happy video with me, and we'll talk about this. So if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe to this channel, help it grow, support it with a like. You can turn on the bell notifications if you want. If you've got any Spurs fans that might be interested in this sort of stuff, shell out a recommendation, share the video. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for today. Fingers crossed, get a victory, some positivity. And as always, come on you Spurs. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking around for that video. It's been an awkward break. I've really missed it during the internationals, and that hasn't been a long time, but it actually feels like forever since I've done a video, and it's just nice to be back, sharing my opinions with you guys. Also, sorry about the old Barnet at the moment, but I'm in the same position as so many of you. Hairdressers haven't been open, and I feel like I wear a lot of hats in the videos. I think I've only done one video where I haven't worn my cap backwards. So I just thought, you know what, we'll just get the Barnet out, put a band in it to hold it back, otherwise it'd be like proper boof on. But anyway, completely off subject. Enjoy your Easter weekend, guys. If you've got the time off work and you've got that long weekend from the Friday to the Monday, just chill out. Have a beer, have a cider, whatever you want. Enjoy the football. Take care, and I will be back with you on Monday with a video talking about the victory. Did I speak too soon? I don't know. Take care. See you later, guys.